This episode of Bussin' with the Boys, is presented by Barstool Sports.
Yeah, that beard's gnarly.
Oh, dude, it's getting big.
It's killer. Do you see that? I mean, first off, let me introduce myself. My name's Taylor. We've never met. I don't know if you know I play football for the Titans.
Yeah, man.
But I do know your music. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of your music. Did you kill it? As far as contemporary country goes,
right on.
I'm a fan, and I'm nothing more than a critic that doesn't deserve an opinion. What's are you in Nashville right now?
Yeah.
Dude, what's this quarantine thing like for you? Is it just absolutely wild?
Brutal. I had to cut my own hair.
Why don't you just let it rip?
Dude, that was driving me crazy, man. It was.
Dude,
without me?
I've had long hair.
Yeah, we start without you. Dude, I've been growing this out for like a year. It's been about a year now. Like now's around the time it's been a year. And I hate it, but I'm just gonna keep it riding, dude. I'm gonna go a mullet for like a month when I cut it. But that's really like, I can't stand long hair. It just gets in your face. It drapes over you. It's annoying. Yeah. It tickles your face at night.
I had it a long time ago. I had like super long hair and it was terrible and super curly. And now I can't stand it anymore.
Well, dude, you're a heartthrob. Like every damn song you guys sing is about, you loving other girls. I actually have a question about one of your songs. One of your songs, and I should have probably waited to get more into it, but we're doing basic chat till Will sits down. And one of your songs, Break Up With Him.
Yeah.
You say, I know you're not in love with him, break up with him. Is that him a real person? And does that guy know it was about him?
Man, that song is not a real story. It was just something we were doing to like make ourselves laugh. We wrote that like in the middle of the night in a van, really driving. It was when we were traveling around the country in a van, and everybody was asleep. It was probably like 2 a.m, and we had been kind of jamming on this thing at sound check earlier in the day, and I was listening to it on my phone, and it was like 2 a.m. I had this idea for like a one-sided phone conversation song, and Trevor was awake in the back bench of the bus, or the van at that point, and it was like 2 a.m. So I went back there and I was like, hey, I got this idea. And so to keep from waking everybody up, I just started whispering it into my phone. So that kind of like, that kind of like set the tone for this creepy, like, hey girl, what's up thing. And then we were just laughing our asses off in the back of the van. Yeah. And that's all that was. And then, man, we've had so many people that would come up to us and say, like, that song made me break up with my boyfriend. And,
no shit.
Yeah. And couples, mostly we get couples that come to us that say, like, we're together because of that song, because I played it for her. She broke up with the dude, and now she's with me. So we like to focus on the matchmaking element of it rather than the home wrecking element of it.
I'll tell you
that's
what,
amazing.
Dude, when you started doing music, was this like what you wanted to do? Was it like I want to be a country singer? Like that was the genre you want to go to growing up, or did you kind of fall into it in a certain way?
No, I kind of fell into it. I was, in high school and stuff, I was in like rock bands and grunge bands. Like the band I was in wanted to be Pearl Jam, and it was just like stuff like that. And then moved to Nashville really to be a songwriter. I didn't really want to be an artist. Wasn't really coming down here to like try and be famous or anything. I was just trying to come down here and write. That's the loudest bird I've ever heard.
No, I love it, dude. He's perfect.
Yeah.
He's perfect out there. He's supposed to be amazing, dude.
We just make it work here, bro. This is what's with the boys.
But no, I just came down here to be a songwriter, really. And then then the band thing happened.
That's wild, dude.
So you're in Nashville right now?
Yeah.
We could have just went on the bus, boys.
I know.
Just got on the bus.
The unforeseeable future, we'll see.
Yeah. We're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to get on the bus somehow in the future.
Oh man, it's just parked right now. Yeah, it's fully stocked and parked.
Oh, your bus.
So like all of your, since you're part of like a squad, you're part of a band. Like we've interviewed individual artists and stuff like that. So when you say like you moved here to be a songwriter, are you mostly responsible for writing all the music for Old Dominion, or is it kind of like a collaboration all the time?
It's collaboration because that's what Trevor, who's in the band, he moved here for the same reason, to be a songwriter. And Brad, who I knew from, a lot of us knew from Virginia. A lot of us grew up in Virginia and went to college and stuff in Virginia, went to college together. Some of the guys did, and they knew Brad. And anyway, Brad moved here to be a songwriter. So individually, we all had been working on trying to be songwriters, and we were writing together. We were writing all this music together, but playing, in bars and stuff at night. And then we started to have success as songwriters for other people. So we started, getting hits for other people, but we were all in a band together.
Yeah.
Just for fun. And people started going like, what is this band full of dudes that are writing songs for other people? Let's go check them out. And then that's sort of fueled our success.
Oh, nice. So you guys are all kind of writers.
Yeah. So we write all together. Sometimes we go in the studio. Like the last album, the way we started recording that was we just went into the studio with no songs and just tried to write and record a song the same day, and that became a hit for us. So we all get together and write a lot together.
Are you guys doing like Zoom stuff right now? Like just Zoom meetings and you guys gonna write on Zoom?
Man, I can't do it. Like I've tried. Some of the guys are. Like it's hard for me to like get into it. I'm sure I will at some point, but some of the guys are writing over Zoom. A lot of people here in Nashville are doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a buddy named Ernest who does a lot of that stuff. He's got they do like writers rounds all the time, and I have zero musical talent at all. I can appreciate it, but I'm god awful. I've never even picked up a guitar, but like just listening to what people have to go through in Nashville is outrageous. I mean, getting a chance to talk to, a bunch of people, the Kings of Leon guys, Thomas Rhett, those types of dudes, seeing what they had to go through is just, it's fucking crazy, dude. But
you gotta slug it out.
Yeah, dude, you're out there playing for pennies at honky tonk. Like, hey, I hope to God someone in this crowd's willing to give me a little gig.
Yeah, right. I mean, ultimately, man, you just have to do it because you love doing it, and whether it's gravy if it works, but ultimately, you just have to do it because you love it.
Where'd you grow up at, Matt?
In Virginia, it's this little small town called Buchanan, spelled Buchanan, pronounced Buchanan. It's about 900 people.
And when did you decide to move to Nashville? Just after high school?
No, I went to college. Actually, I went to art school at VCU in Richmond, Virginia.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah, we can hear you. What's up, buddy? Hey, the boys.
Hey, just suddenly come in. Can you hear me?
Yeah, just super casual and awkward, dude.
But after college, I decided. Yeah.
Are you a Redskins fan?
Dude, it is so hard to be a Redskins fan.
Oh, no question.
I grew up being a Redskins fan, and I try to hang on to be a Redskins fan, but they make it tough, dude.
Yeah, no doubt.
Who's your team now?
What's up?
Man, it's
Who's your
funny.
team now?
Well, this was a great year for the Titans. But it's funny, like when we tour with Kenny Chesney a bunch, and you end up playing all these football stadiums, and you end up meeting all these people, and it's kind of hard to have a team, because you start like identifying with all of them, and like you're like, I know somebody from that team, or I know this guy, and like you start like just it feels bad. I feel bad like rooting against people, except for the Cowboys. I always root against the Cowboys.
Yeah, no question. Cowboys can kick rocks.
Hey, I actually had a question earlier when we were talking about doing what you can to be heard, or like to see if you just get a shot and stuff like that. What's the best story, or what's the farthest you've like reached to like be heard or like get in front of somebody? Dude. Like what's like the most like, I went to that extent so I could be heard.
It's sort of an epic story, but I'll try to keep it short. But there's a songwriters festival in Key West that they have every year, and the whole town of Nashville basically goes down to Key West, and it's this big festival. And I have kids. I have two daughters, and I was a stay-at-home dad at this point in time, so I was like trying to like raise my girls, and then I would write at night and everything. And a big part of any business obviously is networking and getting out there, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't like get myself in front of the right people. I was frustrated. I was broke as shit, and I knew that if I could get down to Key West for this festival, that I could spend 4 days down there, like getting in everybody's face. Right. So I said, if I can find a plane ticket, I'm going down there. So I had a buddy who has a brother who is a pilot for American Airlines, and he gave me a ticket. So I had a free ticket down there. So I went down there. I packed a small bag because I had no place to stay. I was like, I don't care. I'll sleep on the beach. I'm going down there. So no place to stay. I go, I land, and I'm literally walking down the street, pulling my bag. And this buddy of mine is like, hey, I didn't know you were coming. Where are you staying? I was like, I don't know. And he was like, I got an extra bed. You can crash in my room. So I was like, great. So I had a free room, free flight, free room. I bought a box of granola bars to eat.
Standard.
Yeah. People like were buying my beers and stuff. I didn't pay for a single beer or whatever. And you'd have to wait like till about 3 a.m. at this open mic thing to get your chance to go on stage and play a couple songs. So I was down there, and the house band at the time was Brothers Osborne. They weren't Brothers Osborne at that point, but they were a band called King Billy at that point.
King Billy.
Yeah. And so
I like that. That's a cool name.
So I waited till about 3 a.m. and got up on stage and told them, the chords of the song, and we played the song, and that performance basically got me a publishing deal off of playing that one song. And that whole week, yeah. So then on top of that, Nashville was flooding. It was like 10 years ago, so there was a big flood in Nashville, and all the flights back to Nashville were canceled. So I go meet some people for breakfast. My buddy was like, hey, come meet me for breakfast. So we're sitting at the table, and I'm telling everybody this whole story about how I've come to Key West and spent 4 days and no plan and no money and nothing, had this big epic night. And there's this dude sitting at the end of the table that I didn't know. And at the end of the story, he was like, well, hey, man, I've got a private jet, and there's an empty seat, and we're heading back to Nashville in the morning if you want to.
Get out of here, bro.
Yo, let's go.
Yeah.
Bro, you're broke ass. Broke ass is like, I just got to get down to Key West. Snakes a flight, snakes free beers, and then you play an open mic. Who came up to you? What was the dude? It was like some guy or girl was just like, hey, I liked what you did there. Like, here's my card type of deal.
It didn't like happen quite like that. It was just because like I started getting all these phone calls like, what did you do last night? Because everybody's talking about your song and everybody's talking about what you did. So it was like, it just started this buzz, and, I started getting phone calls and finally got the deal. So
then you're writing songs. You're writing songs out there for other girls to break up with their boyfriends, and you're wrecking homes. And now you're a home wrecker, dude. Congratulations.
Bona fide home wrecker.
Dude, I love that. That's epic. Well, that's got to be like the biggest high ever. Like, you're like, I got this dream, I got this goal. You're basically you're putting your thumb up trying to catch a ride to Key West, and then you get the gig. Like, that's got to be a crazy high that meth probably couldn't even get you. And so
then
like,
you catch a PJ
and you've been
on the way
chasing
back
that thing
to
the whole
Nashville.
time. Oh, dude. And you're sitting there smoking a cigar, feet up, chilling on a PJ. Dude, you know what kind of plane it was? Was it a Fat Boy?
Yeah, we were just drinking. We were drinking tequila and playing Tom Petty songs on the guitar on the way.
Get the hell out of here, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, this would be way cooler if Tom Petty was actually on the plane killing it. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers just out there. Oh, yeah, man, you play music? Me too. What's your name? Tom Petty. Nice to meet you. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, it's that kind of
Matt's
plane.
just like, yo, where in the fuck am I?
Yeah. I was kind of like that anyway.
Dude, that's wild. So, okay, like, let's hit that. Let's stay on the same timeline. We do a horrible job of staying on topic of this podcast. By the way, you're coming on our bus when this quarantine thing is up. So get ready to go round 2 with us. I'm thinking. So you land in Nashville. How mad is your wife? You've been gone for 4 days straight with 2 kids.
That's what I was wondering too. Like, was she pissed? Like,
she's got to be hot
to get down here.
Oh yeah, it was not good. It was not good because like our house was flooding. Like there was like,
and you're hungover.
Oh yeah, I smell like tequila because I've been drinking it on the plane. And my dad had to drive down and like pump out the basement and everything. So it was not the best scene, but it turned out all right.
Oh, Dude, okay. So your wife's pissed, almost divorced, back in the game. You did it. You just held up this sheet of paper, just
Yeah.
in big bold letters, publishing
How you
deal.
like them apples?
Yeah,
you
let's
like
get
damn apples.
You like apples? Slaps it on there, dude. Was that Matt Damon? And
Yeah.
is that Matt Damon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Oh.
dude.
Yeah, Matt Damon.
Thank God I didn't sound like an idiot right there. So okay, so you get this publishing deal. What's next? What happens after that? You and the boys get together. Is your band already together at this point?
No, we're not together at that point, but we are like playing music some together, but we haven't formed like a band yet. So then we start kind of writing together a little more, and then we do start, like, it was pretty shortly after that we started. We had our first, actually it was my first, I signed that deal, and then once you get a batch of songs, your publisher wants to make demos, right? So that you can pitch them out to other people. And the guy that I signed with had heard us play some a couple times and was like, hey, why don't we just use your band, the guys you're playing with, to make the demo and see. So that was the first time we were actually in a recording studio, and we made this thing, and we kind of were looking at each other going like, man, this sounds like a band. We sound like a real band here. We should see where this goes. So that was like, it was right after that we really started to form a band.
Yeah, I can assume that I mean, if you went out on your own and you have to go get a band, I feel like the courting process to go get like a guitar player has got to be kind of awkward. Like, well, how does that even? I can't imagine go to some guy and be like, hey, so like, how's a free turkey sandwich and a bus ride and some tequila sound for you to play with me while I make all this money?
Right.
Exactly. I don't know how those guys do it, man. But I wouldn't do it, but I don't know. A lot of people do, man. Guys, I guess again, it comes back to wanting, really loving it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So was everybody pretty on board right away?
Yeah, because honestly, man, nobody really thought we were going to, it just sort of happened. Nobody was really, we weren't even really like making this like hard run for it. We were just kind of having fun, like we were playing in bars. We would drive, like I had a minivan. We would drive to like Alabama and whatever and play and, make $40 a piece.
Damn,
and
dude.
like, we were like, oh yeah, $40, and
hell yeah.
And we were just having a good time. And so it just sort of like over time, slowly, more and more people started coming. And then like we started to get like a song on XM radio, and it was like getting bigger and bigger. And so it truly was like a natural thing that happened. I mean, every record label, we took meetings with every record label in Nashville. They all turned us down, but we just kept on doing it.
Love that, dude.
Till finally,
Love that, bro.
Yeah. Till finally, when we literally had a song on the radio, and Kenny Chesney invited us to go on a stadium tour before we ever got a record deal. So all of that, then they finally were like, okay, I guess we need to sign these guys.
So was the Kenny Chesney the big breakthrough?
That was part of it. Yeah, that was the kind of the kicker that made them go, I guess we need to sign these guys that are already on a stadium tour. They're doing all right.
You guys put the cart before the horse in that regard, huh?
Yeah, we definitely kind of backed into it a little bit.
Hey, that's killer, dude. Hey, there's more than one way to skin a cat, or whatever the fuck that phrase is. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. So, anyway, is Kenny like a football fan? Who's his team?
Man, he's buddies with the Crafts. So the Patriots are that whole area is so awesome to him.
What a sellout! Who's not buddies with the Crafts? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's crazy.
I feel like it's so more and more common. Like people are like, "Oh, I'm buddies with the Crafts."
Maybe great to us too, man. We played a couple Super Bowl parties for him. So
we're buddies with them too, man.
I'll tell you what. We'll be buddies with them if they give him a call. I'll tell you that much. We'll sell out in a second for them.
I will. He needs me to go to a massage parlor. I'll go, dude.
Right? Hey, that's crazy.
Twist your arm, huh?
Hey, Matt, I gave you a loaded question because the thing is at the facility, our head trainer, his name's Todd Turacelli. Shout out Todd, dude. He's an absolute stud.
Shout out Todd.
He's been boys with Kenny Chesney for a while. So Kenny's in and out of the place all the time, always getting rehab. He's got shoulder stuff, all those kinds of things. And so I thought in my head, man, this guy's got to be a Titans fan. And I don't even think Titans even crossed your mind. You're like, oh, well, he's friends with the Kraft family, so that's the gig now.
The front runner,
sitting there like, I'm just in my head.
Same
like,
thing,
hey,
though, man. It's the same thing as I was saying earlier, though. Like, he's probably got relationships with all of them because, you know, he like fills those stadiums up year after year and he knows all of them.
That dude is the
So like,
man,
man,
bro.
it's insane.
And he's got such a killer vibe. Like his dude, him, like Uncle Cracker, like even Toby Keith. Yeah, definitely Toby Keith had like kind of like crushed like that beach country vibe. If I need a drink, you know, every swinging dick south of the Mason-Dixon, whenever they get to the beach, their first thing is to crack open their favorite beer, get their Instagram pic with some Toby Keith, some Kenny Chesney, Uncle Cracker in the background.
But you're right though. Like I didn't even know the Uncle Cracker song was about like cheating until like until I was like late 20s, and I actually like said the lyrics out loud. I was like, oh, I literally just sang the song because I loved it.
Right. Because you're a basic white guy, and that's, you know,
exactly.
We're doing
just basic white dude brainwashed by the country music out there.
Killing it. That's epic, dude. So you guys played with Kenny. These companies that were just dragging their feet the whole time are like, all right, I guess we'll sign these slappies now.
Yeah.
And you guys are crushing it. You guys are heartbreakers now, killing the game.
Doing good, man. Cannot complain. It's pretty incredible, man.
You guys have blown up. Is there a song that you guys made that like, man, this means a lot to us? Like this is the one like that maybe you wrote that was a big deal to you, or is it all kind of like a whole bunch of thoughts built into one from each one of you guys, and then all of a sudden
it's kind of a hodgepodge and it changes, but you know, One Man Band was the song that sort of like that took us to a different level, like and you never can like predict why that is, but for whatever reason, from the moment we played that song, the crowd went insane, and we were like, whoa, it was a noticeable difference. So then we started talking about, well, maybe we should, you know, make this song a single. And before like we even really made it the official single, it was kind of out in the world and people were singing it louder than they sing some of the songs that are our actual hits. So for whatever reason, man, that song really stepped up the game for us and has been incredible for us. So that one's pretty.
Dude, first off, One Man Band is my favorite song by you guys, and I think it's so easy to sit there and relate with it, right? Like everybody at one point in their life's been solo. Everybody at one point has been in this situation where like, man, I wish I had someone to be with me, and you know, using your guys' artistic vision to talk, like kind of bring that back and like, hey, I'm on the stage by myself and I wish I had someone to sing a harmony with me, bang, bang, trash hotel rooms, all that. Like, it's a very cool way that people are like, oh, I can get on board with this, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's no secret why you guys have had so much success. You're extremely talented. Your lyrics are pretty unbelievable. Like, you guys are crushing it. Like I said before, I'm a fan.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No worries.
Yo, has there ever been like a song? I always like when I ask musicians this, where you feel like you're writing for a reason that's more mainstream because you're like, people are just vibing with this kind of vibe more than what you actually want to write about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, you know, like when we made our first album, we just were like, let's write some bops, you know, let's sit down and try to write some straight up hits. Let's not, you know, worry about anything else. Let's hand them an album full of songs that could be a hit on the radio right now. Yeah. So, and then, you know, it's a good thing that we did that because it gave us a pretty strong foothold with radio and everything. And now, you know, we've got a little bit more freedom to sort of just, you know, be a little bit more out there. And because we're established, I mean, anything we write, it's typically a commercial sounding type of thing. Even when we think it's like way out there, it's so ingrained in us to like try to write a hit that it ends up kind of having something in it that's catchy or hooky or whatever. And we love, you know, that's the kind of music we love too. So, you know, we love all that hooky stuff. So it just kind of naturally comes.
I love that. Tell you, hey, so I was on your Instagram earlier, Old Dominion's Instagram. You guys just came out with a documentary.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit? I actually, right before we got on here, it's like 10 minutes long. I sat and watched it, and that thing's awesome, man. That thing's inspiring. I don't want to like add or use my
Yeah.
own words. I'd like you to explain what your documentary is about, why you wanted to do it, and
Yeah.
I think that
Well,
thing's dope.
yeah, man. It started with the music video idea, which was for our single right now. It's called "Some People Do," which is, it's a little bit of a departure for us as far as like, we talk about like hooky hit song type of things. This one's like a ballad and a kind of a tearjerker, and it's a heavy song. And we met this dude, Jason Schneidman, who is like a hair and makeup guy. We met him like on one of our first like official photo shoots, and he was the dude that was like helping us get dressed and fixing our hair and everything. And we just clicked with him. He's just a super cool guy. And so for years we used him whenever we could. And as we got to know him, he started telling us his story a little bit. And he's an addict and, recovery, and, how he used, he went into this program and it taught him how to be of service for people. And he's this extremely talented hairstylist. So he goes out and helps homeless people and gives them like haircuts, cleans them up, and talks to them about sobriety, and he can take them to, he takes them on trips to rehab, and, he like really works with these people and makes them feel special. And so we're thinking about an idea for the video. He just popped into my head and thought like, wow, this would be a cool feature for the video, but it's hard to like tell all of that in a 3-minute music video. So we did a little bit longer version where he allowed him to kind of tell his story and what he's doing, in his community to help the homeless population. And just an amazing, inspiring dude, man. He's an awesome guy and just a great vibe to be around, and just makes you want to be better. So we like went down there and helped him out one day and just followed him around. And we literally just went down on Venice Beach in LA and set up some tables and brought a bunch of pizzas and had boxes of t-shirts. And he had a whole team of hairstylists and barbers, and we just were there, and people would walk up and go, "What are y'all doing?" And he'd be like, "You want a haircut?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." And then like,
Oh, no way.
I mean, people started just coming, and hair was flying everywhere, man. They were just cutting all these people's hair, and we were just talking to them and giving them food. And it was an awesome day, man. It really changed your perspective on, the homeless population in general.
Yeah, me personally, like I fall in line with that falling in the box of, you think they're wanting a dollar for booze, or they're wanting to do bad. Like he mentioned it in the documentary too. And my perspective obviously shifts like when you watch something like that. And honestly, like throwing the boy a compliment, I learned more about like the homeless population stuff through like Taylor, because Taylor and his wife Taylor, and they're very big in that community and providing things for them. And anytime we pull up to something, and I know I'm giving you oops right now, but anytime we pull up anywhere and somebody comes knocking, like Taylor's always giving cash no matter what. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got this quote. I'll let Taylor say it. I don't want to take all of his stuff, but like those kind of things is when it started to shift my perspective of seeing Taylor. And then I saw that, I'm like, yo, this is it's just really cool, because you truly just don't know where somebody comes from, what their story is. Like,
Yeah.
yes, some might be of certain, come from a certain cloth, but you have no idea unless you try to intentionally get to know somebody or lend a hand, help them out. But that's honestly like, kudos to both of you. Both of you are the biggest reason my perspective has changed, kind of in that world, because I am guilty of being that kind of
Yeah.
person that would drive up and be like, oh,
Everybody.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do nothing. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I think everybody to some extent it has been down that path before, because as like human beings, like we're like Will says it all the time, like we survive in advance. We're just trying to get to like the next stage or to help ourselves up. And when you see someone panhandling or doing whatever on the corner, it's like, yeah, of course, like that person could go buy alcohol. But the reality is like our job as human beings, it's not to say you can and cannot do what I give you. It's, here's my opportunity. I'm going to do my part just to help this individual, regardless of what they do with it is up to them. But like, you've crossed that bridge into, okay, I put a hand out to help this person up. And it's like, well, the phrase Will's talking about is giving somebody a hand up, not a hand out. And there's this guy who works at a a charity called Home Street Home. And this guy was homeless. Home Street Home. Yeah. He was homeless for, I think, 6 years. And I might butcher the entire story, but this guy now has a home, has a whole charity. He's raised, I think, over a few $100,000.
Wow.
And what he does is he literally takes people in that are homeless and gives them clothes, gives them food, gives them shelter. He's working on building homes for these people to go in the city of Nashville and kind of rehabilitate themselves. Because when you ask anybody on the street, like what percentage of people are homeless because of addiction, you would think it's in the 30s, 40s, and 50%. Like those people, it's only 7%. Only 7% of people that are affected are because of addiction, which again is not like something you should ever, it's not our jobs as human beings to judge those people. It never is. Right. And like we're all super lucky. Like you said, like what you do, you gotta love it, and like you gotta go and play music, and you gotta like do the shit. Like you gotta sit at the stand with one mic, and there's 3 drunk guys yelling at you on stage, and you're just hoping to get a $5 tip. Like we got to go through the shit of playing high school ball. You try to go through college and make it, and you're working. It's such a crazy difference, but there is that work up, and you make it because you're good, but you also make it because you're lucky as shit. And a lot of people don't have that luck. Like, and I think, you give somebody $1, like, what's it to you if you have $1 to give? Like, it's not going to affect you. It's not going to affect me if I give $1 out.
Yeah. And the thing is, man, maybe they do go buy, alcohol or drugs with it, but it's the moment that you speak to them for a second. That's what we really noticed, was how much they appreciated if you just took a second to ask them a question, or ask them about their hair, or ask them what their name was, or just that interaction, just to have them feel like a person and not just someone to rush by. Go do whatever you will with the money, but if you give them that interaction, they appreciate it so much. And it just kind of like you were saying, like one guy was like, man, he was kind of telling us his story, and he was like, not everybody's out here because they're addicted to something. Like, it's like, for me, he's like, my wife had heart trouble, and it was either pay for her heart surgery or keep a roof over our head. And he's like, we had to do this surgery out. She would have died without it. So we did this surgery, and we couldn't afford to pay for our house, and he ends up losing his house. I mean, it's just like you said, like some people don't have that luck, man. It's like, so it goes a long way when you can just do whatever you can. It doesn't have to be a lot,
Yeah, for sure. Did you guys make that documentary
with quarantine and all this stuff going on?
My bad, Taylor.
No, if this dude, if there's anybody who's listening to this podcast, we are, the Wi-Fi out here, whoever's it is getting absolutely trashed right now. So thank you for sticking along with us. I think one thing this quarantine is going to teach us, I think, is like, it ain't about just me or just you. It's about all of us. And because we've had to shut down the country in a lot of ways, and the economy is absolutely getting blasted right now, there's going to be a lot more homeless people out. There's a lot more people that are unemployed because of this whole thing. And maybe you've been a person that's like, why doesn't this bum get a job? And you might be one of those people that are now like out there doing it. And it's not about, it should never be about, I'm doing better than X, Y, and Z. Like, you need to do the best that you possibly can. Everything else is whipped cream and gravy after that. I mean, not in that combination, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about, like, you do the best you can. Yeah, a little gravy, a little whipped cream.
A little gravy.
A little something, dude. Something. No, it's wild, dude. This whole thing's just crazy. And it's just this quarantine, people are bitching too much. I mean, how many times in your life have you sat there and said, man, I wish shit would just slow down a little bit? Having 2 kids, I got one more kid on the way. I'm about to have 2 kids. And with my one daughter, I'm like, sometimes I'm just like, hey, I need a minute to calm down, to let everything and it never happens. And then this quarantine things, everyone's like, oh, I got to be at home now. I got to do this. And, jobs are suffering, money's suffering. I'm understanding of all that, but it's like, it's an opportunity for a lot of people to work on themselves from like a soul standpoint, from a mental standpoint. This
is the longest I've been home in 6 years.
Yeah, and I bet, like, in a lot of ways, as long as you take it the right way, you'd be grateful, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was, like you said, like there was a lot of times where I was just like, I need a break, dude. I need to stop. This is gonna kill me. I need a break. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I didn't mean that much of a break.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
doubt.
It's like the first week
like a
or
week.
so. Yeah, the first week or so you're treating it like snow nights. Like you're off
Vacation.
school the next day. You're like, yo, let's stay up. Let's do shit, man.
Yeah.
And now it's like, hey, we got to get out there. What's going on?
Yeah.
It's wild out here, dude. This shit is crazy. It's mind blowing, and people need to take advantage. But people need to take advantage of what they can't control, because people bitch all the time. People always bitching about something.
Yeah. Now, before we get out of the documentary segment, did it take you guys? Did you have all like the music video and all that? I watched all that stuff. Was it only that one visit, and you guys pretty much got it all, everything you needed?
Yeah. So we have this dude, man. His name's Mason Allen. He's the guy that made the video and the documentary. He's our like tour guy. He's like our tour photographer. He comes around and he just goes on tour. He's this young kid, and he's extremely talented. He's made some videos for us before, and so he went out to LA for a couple days before we got there and followed Jason around and shot some stuff, but most of it was that one. We were just there for that one day. Most of it was that one day. We just it was from, we got there probably like 10 in the morning and we're probably done 10 at night.
Yeah. Now, and that's on YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
YouTube under, what's the documentary name? It's some people can change.
Some people do is the
some people do.
Some
that's
people
right.
do Old
That's
Dominion,
right.
and that'll get it.
Yeah, I got you. So whoever's listening, you want to watch the documentary, go on YouTube, and Some People Do is what the documentary is called. Yep. Taylor, do you want to ask him or should I ask him?
Go ahead.
We need a favor.
All right.
that's how I'm gonna
hey,
start.
I don't even know.
Why just make me nervous?
I'm excited.
Matter of fact, hey Taylor, he could be the first one on the bus to do it.
What's that?
Picking with the boys.
No, he ain't doing no picking with the boys, bro.
What's up?
You got to
He's
tell me
made
what
it. He doesn't need to do picking with the boys. Yeah.
Oh, I know, but dude, my dude, I saw his Instagram. He was strumming the acoustic. So basically what we've done is Bussin with the Boys. We have a segment called Picking with the Boys. And so like Ernest and a few artists, they basically send us a riff like, hey, shout out the boys. Like, thanks for having me on Picking with the Boys. And since everybody's quarantined right now, they just like, you see artists doing all the time. They just kind of play and strum on the guitar. And so we created a segment called Picking with the Boys. And I'm thinking, are you thinking what I'm thinking, Matt? Like, I'm thinking the boy is like, hey, shout out Picking with the Boys, baby. And you drop whatever beat you want to drop. It can be an original. It could be something new that you made up. But boom, we jam it. We put it on Instagram. That's it. That's the favor.
Yeah. All right. I'll do that for you.
And ultimately, we want people to come on the bus to do it. So, like, we wanted to gain traction to where people are like, hey, can we come on the bus to do it? Because it's like a little studio setup we have on this rusted bus. You probably saw it. And so I was thinking, hey, maybe you're the first one that comes on the bus and hits it on the bus.
Yeah, man. Once all this opens up, I would love to see that thing, man.
There we go. There we go.
That thing's killer. That thing's absolutely killer. You'd crush it on the bus, dude. You'd murder it. How old are your kids? Well, I'll let you get out of here in a second. We know these pods are a little shorter, but how old are your kids now?
Yeah, I've got a kid. Both of them are getting up there. Mine's 13 and 10.
That's wild, dude.
10? You're old.
I'm old, dude. I'm an old
man. Old man. You born in 77?
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you what, I know that beard's got some Just for Men in it.
It doesn't actually, man. There's a lot of gray.
You're lying. Dude, you're lying like a rug.
I don't, man. My mom even doesn't believe me, but no, there's too much gray in there for it to be just for men.
Hey, Taylor, back up from the camera. Your beard doesn't need to be in the shot.
I'm looking, dude. You know my eyes are so bad. You got that salt. You get little crumbs of salt, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, it's wild. I mean, I'm so stoked to have another kid. I'm having another girl too. So I got 2 girls now. I'm a big girl. I'm like Kobe. No, I'm like you, and I'm like Kobe.
Dude, it's the best, man. It's awesome. The girls are the best, man.
So what's next for Old Dominion?
Oh shit!
You guys had an album dropping 19, banger by the way. You just got this little. Go ahead.
Yeah, hopefully we get back on the road, man. Like we're just like I said, this is the longest we've ever been home. So we're getting kind of itchy So we're trying to figure out ways to get our music out there and get some sort of performances out there to people while this is all shut down. And in the meantime, we're just going to be writing, and it's opened up a lot of space. So I imagine we'll start recording again here pretty soon for the next one.
Yeah, picking with the boys. That's a way to get your music out.
Get you guys some traction. I know you guys are dying for followers on Instagram. I think it's like almost 1 million. You guys are getting crushed out there. We'll help you out a little bit. We got your back, Bob.
Yes. So have you guys been making some magic while you guys are quarantined?
Yeah, we've been working on some stuff. So we haven't really done much together, but everybody's kind of working on their own things. And so
that quarantine album, dude, that's going to be the hot.
Yeah,
that's right when
I know.
it drops,
I'm kind of excited about that. I'm kind of excited about like it changing how we make the music to see how it comes out. So.
Yeah, no doubt, man. A lot more stories, some storytelling music. I love it.
Yeah,
no doubt. Well, dude, hey, you crushed it on the podcast. We really appreciate having you on, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, man. This is fun.
You're a stud, dude. I mean,
we got to make him
when this whole thing's over.
You got to make him a Titans fan, Taylor.
We'll work on it, dude. I'll tell you what we need to do is once this quarantine thing's over, come on, we'll hit another podcast, get a couple of your boys on there. We'll do a real one because this right. it's so awkward doing a Zoom. I'm staring at you and you're like you're frozen and then you're just moving around like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard. It's hard to do the whole thing. So we'll get you on here. We'll talk you into being a Titans fan, man. You live here. It's time to buy in. All right?
I am a Titans fan.
Get you a 77 jersey.
You're welcome in advance. A Bussin with the boy shirt.
There you go.
On the squad.
Send me that jersey, man.
He didn't give a shit about that shirt.
He don't give a damn about the shirt, bro. He said, yes, send me the jersey, man.
Yeah, you get your publicist. Send your address to me, and I'll send it off.
Right on. Awesome, dude.
You got it.
All right, man. Thanks, brother.
All right. I'll see y'all.